T-minus 2 minutes and counting. T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds. The International Space Station now passing high above Kazakhstan, right over the Baikonur Cosmodrome. These two vehicles are about to play a 6-hour catch-up game with each other. T-minus 1 minute and counting. The Soyuz is now on internal power, and we have auto sequence start. T-minus 45 seconds.
Vehicle to internal power.
The ground umbilical is beginning to swing back. T-minus 30 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds and counting. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
Intermediate. Lift off. Fly now.
And the Soyuz is now on its way with Mike Hopkins, Oleg Kotov, and Sergei Ryazanskiy on a 6-hour ride to the International Space Station.
All nominal. Everything is fine on board.
Good first stage performance. The Soyuz delivering 102 tons of thrust from its 4 boosters and single engine. The first stage of the Soyuz measures 68 feet in length and 24 feet in diameter. It is currently burning liquid fuel for the first 2 minutes and 6 seconds of the flight.
Seconds, nominal flight.
"70 seconds into the flight, velocity is now 1,100 miles an hour.
Nine. 90 seconds. Stable condition. Inaudible.
The 4 strap-on boosters have now been jettisoned. These have completed their job and have dropped away at an altitude of 30 statute miles. The Soyuz is now traveling at 3,937 miles an hour.
секунд, вторая ступень работает нормально.
150 seconds. All is nominal. 160, launch route jettison.
The launch route has now been jettisoned. The rocket's altitude is now 52 miles high.
Confirming launch route jettison. Observing. Confirming.
Here's a look at Mike Hopkins there in the right seat of the Soyuz. Everything on board going according to plan.
Vibration, oscillation, within norm. Normal operation of the systems.
The Soyuz core stage is performing as expected. The core stage of this vehicle is 56 feet in length, 13.5 feet in diameter, with a single engine, with 4 fuel chambers providing 96 tons of thrust for its 3 minutes and 28 seconds of operation. The stage will continue to burn until the 4-minute 43-second mark. The Soyuz uses what's called a hot stage technique. The third stage will ignite while the second stage is still burning. This is why the Soyuz has an open area in between the second and third stages. Second stage is separating and shutting down.
Interference.
Current altitude 105 miles.
Third stage thruster activation.
The Soyuz now being propelled by the single engine of the Soyuz's third stage. This engine is providing 30 tons of thrust and will burn for 4 minutes and 2 seconds.
Separation from the third stage. Three 350 seconds, thrust is nominal.
Once the third stage delivers the Soyuz to orbit and the module is separated, a series of pre-programmed commands will be executed to prepare the Soyuz for orbital operations.
Everything is fine on board.
These stored commands, called time-tagged commands, allow many of the Soyuz's systems to be automatically activated by onboard computers at precise times stored within them.
Seconds, nominal systems.
The Soyuz continuing to fly. Everything is going right down the line.
Носитель лома.
500. All nominal.
At 8 minutes and 45 seconds into the flight, we have third stage cutoff and separation. The single liquid-fueled engine has shut down and dropped away at an altitude of about 125 statute miles.
Alex, congratulations.
The third stage is performing an avoidance maneuver. All the communication systems and the solar arrays have now been deployed.
Pulsar, this is Moscow.
And the cruise antenna has been deployed. The Soyuz is now orbiting at an altitude of 143 miles by 118 miles. That orbit will be raised systematically over the course of the next 6 hours, placing it in close proximity to the International Space Station. Control of the spacecraft from here on will be overseen by the Russian Mission Control Center just outside of Moscow. But again, an uneventful and successful flight into space for Oleg Kotov, Sergei Rosansky, and NASA's Mike Hopkins. They are now on a 6-hour journey to the International Space Station.
And pressure reports.
Everything went according to plan. Everything went as expected. Again, the Soyuz has reached orbit. All of the communications antennas and the solar arrays have been deployed as planned.
5.
МКС по Москвы, ВСГ-1.
You read us?
ISS Mission Control Moscow, SG-1 for Fyodor.
Breaking up.
Go ahead.
R-17 command.
Fyodor. Launch and descent have been successful. All elements have been deployed, and everything is going on nominally at the moment. Great, Nikolai. Great. Then everything seems to be really normal. Okay.
Expecting.
We just can't wait.
Command link.
Well, keep waiting, guys, but it should happen soon. But further, you can proceed with your activities and keep us posted. And as soon as you'll be...
Here's a look at the telemetry screen on board the Soyuz itself. Again, this vehicle now heading for a rendezvous with the International Space Station that should take place at 9:48 p.m. Central Time tonight.
Right. Okay. And then I will call you. Very good.
265. Is there nominal no issues? 20, 08.8, 21, 2.0, 20, 3 to 7, 23, 3 to 8, 24, 15.1, 25, 17.3, 26, 263, propellant 880. Parameters copied.
Как самочувствие?
And pulsars. How's the crew doing? The crew is doing good.
As we continue to take a live look inside the Russian Flight Control Center, we want to remind you of some of our coverage coming up later on this evening, docking with the International Space Station coming up in just a few hours. We'll have a post-launch video file coming up at about 6 p.m. Central Time this evening. Our docking coverage will begin at 9 p.m. Central Time, with docking again at 9:48 p.m., give or take a couple of minutes. Then we'll be back at 11 p.m. Central Time tonight with hatch opening coverage. That hatch opening due to take place at about 11:25 p.m. Once the crew opens up the hatches and gets inside, we will have a live event between the crew and some family and friends and dignitaries there in Baikonur. They were there to watch the launch, but they will make their way to the city of Baikonur to a former movie theater that is known as the Agat Hall. So they'll be talking with the crew from there, just like they did last time. And here in just a few minutes, we'll have some launch replays for you, taking a look at this evening's launch into space of Mike Hopkins, Oleg Kotov, Sergei Ryazanskiy. The flight went about as good as can be expected. They achieved orbit as planned. All the systems on the Soyuz were deployed. The antennas were extended out, and the solar arrays were deployed shortly after it reached orbit. So everything going according to by the book so far. So again, docking coming up tonight at 9:58 p.m. Central Time. Our live coverage begins at 9 p.m. Central Time. This crew, once they get up on board the space station, is going to have quite a busy time, even in the next few days. As we talked about at the beginning of our broadcast, the orbital Cygnus spacecraft is still basically hanging out there in space as it gets